Welcome to video 4-2 on how to create the perfect pitch to get on the radio for free. In this video, I'm going to give you 12 rules for writing the 8 to 10 word pitch that you will use to get on the radio. Okay, let's dig in. Rule number 1 for a pitch: it needs to be controversial. Now, the best thing that you can do on a radio show is excite some sort of controversy, get a conversation going. So you want a controversial pitch. Now, for me, I'll tell you what I always used. For me to get on an entrepreneurship show, the pitch I used was, entrepreneurship is not about creativity, risk, or passion. Well, that's trying to be very controversial. If you were to ask the person on the street, what do you think entrepreneurship is about? They would use those 3 words: risk, creativity, and passion. And so I'm trying to be interesting by saying, no, it's not about those things. It's the exact opposite of that. And hopefully a host will go, wow, this guy doesn't think that entrepreneurship involves risk. I've got to hear more about that. Another example, say you're teaching a parenting class and you believe that every baby can sleep through the night by 5 weeks old. Well, that's a very controversial line to say. Most people think babies take months to learn to sleep through the night. But if you say, I can teach any baby to sleep through the night by 5 weeks, well, I want to hear more about that. That's interesting. That's controversial. So number 1, make your pitch be something interesting, something that fights the words of the normal, something that takes on the establishment. Anytime you do that, the chances of getting on the show are fantastic. Number 2, try to do something that appeals to everyone. Mention something that everyone has a problem with. Some of the best examples of this are weight loss, right? Almost everyone deals with weight loss issues. So say your pitch was something like a proven way to make weight loss easy for everybody. Well, that applies to anybody. And think about this. What radio show would want to include you on that? Well, a health show, of course, any show on fitness. But any music, easy listening show will also want to include that topic because everyone's dealing with weight issues, especially around the holidays. So that topic appeals to everybody. Anyone's going to want to hear that. Another great example, there's a guru out there who has a book that I've actually bought on how to get out of parking tickets and speeding tickets. Well, all of us at one time or another have gotten a speeding ticket or afraid that we're about to be pulled over. So that pitch, the I can get anyone out of a speeding ticket pitch, appeals to any radio audience, and you're going to get a lot of people listening to that interview. So try to be as broad as possible, appealing to everyone if you can. Number 3, fun and new are also very exciting. Good pitches. So a pitch that says, great new method for storing fruit, or great new method to make sure your children are obedient. Any of these words, buzzwords, new, improved, anything like that, let the host, let the producer know that there's something interesting and that this could be something that they've never talked about. It's another good way to get on the shows. And number 4, busting a myth. This is one of my favorite ones to do. To go in and say, well, we all believe that fracking is bad for groundwater. Well, I have got proof that fracking is in no way bad for groundwater and that it in no way will harm your health. Well, that's very counterintuitive to what most of the media is saying. You and your I'm going to bust a myth is sure to get on the radio because, well, everyone believes that. And you have the audacity to say something that we all believe is not true. I want to hear more about that. So busting a myth is a great pitch in our number 4 method. Number 5, be different. Be the one that sticks out. So what we mean by this is if you have a whole bunch of teachers and you're the only teacher that doesn't believe in a certain thing, say you teach your entire math class in Spanish or something crazy like that. You use garbage can lids to teach math. Those are interesting things. You're different and unique, and people will want to hear that story. So anytime you can position yourself as against the mainstream and different and unusual, you're going to get on the radio. Number 6 is very similar, being unique. And by unique, there's a key thing there. That means the only one. You want to be able to say, I'm the one that, for example. And I hear these interviews and I get a lot of pitches for things that I've accomplished, like I'm the one that climbed Mount Kilimanjaro blindfolded, or the lady that swam across the English Channel. Those are the sort of things that always get on the radio. And so if you can say, I am unique, very special, I'm the only one in the world that can talk about this, you will get on the radio for sure. And it doesn't have to be sweeping like I swam across the English Channel. What about this? My baby slept through the night 8 hours long at 2 weeks old, and I can show you how to do that. Well, I've never heard of that before. Have you ever heard of a baby sleeping through the night by 2 weeks? Well, there is a method, there is a class out there that teaches that. And that's a great pitch. Anyone who's a parent will want to know about that. And so you'll get on tons of radio interviews using that method. Number 7, be relevant to the news. Now, this is a fantastic way and probably one of the best ways to get on the radio. Here, your hook is, did you see what happened in the news yesterday? I can comment on that. Very simple. Yesterday, the Federal Reserve decreased the savings rate that banks are required. The discount rate was changed. I'm going to come on and tell you how that will impact your mortgage loans. Things like that. Saying things that happen in the news are relevant to your show and your listeners, and I'm going to explain the impact. Hosts love this because it makes the show seem topical, new, relevant, interesting, and it means that they are paying attention to what's going on around them. A great way to get on the radio is to be the expert invited to come in and comment on the current news. Number 8, go for emotion. Try to be as emotional as possible. This is something like, I know about bullying, and I'm here to talk about the horrible consequences of bullying to make sure that your son doesn't commit suicide. See, right there, I'm going for the heart. I'm saying, are you concerned that your son might commit suicide? Do you care about your kid? I'm going to rip your heart out on this interview and show you how to be a good parent. Stuff like that. These emotional appeals are very, very hard to ignore. You hear these on the mass media all the time. How many times have you turned on the news at 10:55 and they say something like this? There's a secret poison in your house killing your children right now. Details at 11. And of course, the details don't come on until 11:27. And the detail is something like, did you know that if you drank an entire bottle of 409, it's going to be bad for you? Well, what they're doing is they're trying to use the emotional impact of a chemical in your house scaring the death out of you to make you watch TV. It's a little bit tricky, a little bit dirty, but you know what? It works. All right, number 9. Take a stand. Take a stand. Now, this is a great way, and it's sort of tangential to our be topical, talk about the news suggestion. But in this, we would like you to go on and contact the host and say, you know what, there's something significant going on in the world today, and I'm the one that believes this. So right now, as I'm filming this, the Duck Dynasty controversy is tearing up the airwaves with their network A&E. And by the time you watch this, I'm sure it will be resolved. But if I wanted to get on the radio right now, today, I would call up a host and say, I have a really controversial, interesting view that proves that A&E is right, or proves that the Duck Dynasty guys are right. That's interesting. I'm taking a stand. The host will want to have me on because of that. Number 10, passion. Media love passionate guests. I hope you notice in these videos that I'm trying to be passionate right now. I'm trying to make this interesting for you. Do the same thing with your interviews. So again, let's say I get a host or a producer on the telephone. Hi, my name's Jim, and I'm really excited to talk about this topic. I'm really interested. You're not going to get on the air. Versus this. Hi, my name's Jim, and I'm really concerned about parental rights in an advancing society. And I'd love to talk to you about how teachers around the world are trampling parents' rights. See how passionate I sound? That will get me on the radio. So number 10, passion sells. Number 11, you're selling your hook, not what you want to sell. Remember, the whole point of this, the whole reason you're watching this video is to sell stuff. Your hook and what you're selling are different. Your goal is to sell your parenting system, okay? But that's different from your hook. Your hook is not, I am here to sell a parenting system. That's the worst hook ever. Your hook is, I can teach you how to be a great parent in 3 days or less. That's the hook. What you're selling is the system. So don't talk to the host or the producer about your system. Talk to them about the hook. Remember, you're using the hook to get on to sell stuff. Don't talk about what you're selling. Talk about the hook. And now, number 12 way to write a perfect hook. We call this rock stars in an elevator, and it's worthy of its own Udemy video. You'll probably see it coming out soon. Rock stars in an elevator takes great rock songs that we're all familiar with, and uses them as the basis of a fantastic pitch or hook. There's 3 songs I'd like to talk about today. The first one is maybe one of my favorites. It's called John Lennon's Imagine. You remember the song? And you remember the words, imagine a world where blank, 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 no peace, perfect peace, perfect harmony, all of that, right? Well, we can use that for a great elevator pitch. Think about this. Say your product is copier services. And what's more boring to sell than a copier service, right? What do you sell? Copiers. Horrible, horrible. But listen to this pitch. Say, and again, this is an imagine pitch using John Lennon. Imagine you're driving on the highway and the traffic is backed up, your car is overheating, and the song on the radio is your least favorite, and the person sitting next to you just won't shut up. Now imagine all of a sudden you're going 90 miles an hour in a brand new Porsche. Your favorite song is on the radio, gorgeous person sitting next to you. That's what I do for documents. You see the analogy? I've created a situation where you're pretending. Documents just flow faster because of my technology. Documents go at 90 miles an hour like they would in a Porsche. The Imagine allows you to draw a picture, to create a parallel scenario. It's a fantastic way to structure a pitch. We have another song that we love, Frank Sinatra's New York, New York. Remember the words to that? If I can make it there, I can make it anywhere. Well, say you have one killer client, one client that defines you. Maybe you're the caterer at the White House. Now, if I were the caterer at the White House, I wouldn't say, I'm the caterer at the White House. Oh, and I do all of Jim Beach's functions too. No, you would just say, I'm a caterer at the White House. I made it there. I can make it anywhere. If you have a situation like that, let the world know. I'm a best-selling author. Boom. Right? No one else can claim that. I was #1 selling book this week. My parenting system sold more than anyone else. Whatever you can do to establish the fact that, boom, you've made it. The Frank Sinatra approach. I love that hook, too. And finally, my favorite hook of all time, believe it or not, comes from Vanilla Ice. Ice, ice, baby, yo, baby, yo, baby, yo. If you got a problem, I will. Remember the last words? Solve it. I love this. That's the epitome of entrepreneurship and is the best hook ever. You have a baby that won't sleep through the night? I'm the guy that shows you how to get a great night's sleep. Problem, solution. A great hook. All right, those are my 12 hook techniques. In the next video, I'm going to give you my pitch that I've used to get on 175 shows. I'll be right back.